Hello, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about modified squats for bad knees. So if you have questions about modified squats, you have knee pain, issues with doctors, physical therapists, your diagnosis, strategy for knee pain, please enter those questions in over in the comments section over on the side, and we'll address it after this short presentation. And we'll be answering questions in a few minutes. So enter in your questions, comments over on the side. I use those for future videos. I use those as a reference when I'm looking for topics for future videos. So please ask those over on the side. That'll be helpful. So now we're going to get into the topic of today, which is modified squats for bad knees. First and foremost, whenever you deal with anything with your knees, make sure you went to a doctor, get a diagnosis, get your knees checked out first. You want to know what you're dealing with, because if you have bad knees, and we'll get into that in just a second, you don't want to be making things worse. Don't be like Bill. I dislocated my left knee 4 times before I went to get my knee checked out. It's not a good scene. And I probably could have avoided surgery had I known what I was dealing with initially. Partially tore the ligament in my left knee each of those 4 times until the last one I ripped right through the ligament. So make sure you get your knee checked out. Having a good solid strategy moving forward is going to be based on knowing what your diagnosis with is going to be extremely helpful. Hey. Okay, we're on summer break. Okay, so we have to understand there's this definition of what is a bad knee. Like really, it's because your knees hurt. If your knees hurt, that doesn't mean your knees are bad. It just means your knees hurt. It means there's nerve irritation going on. And this is based on, once again, you go to the doctor, you had a diagnosis, and the doctor is saying nothing is wrong with your knee. Your knee looks normal. They can't tell you what's wrong with your knee. You're having pain. So we're going to look at modifying the squat for your knees based on that situation. If you have something broken or torn in your knee, then your real good strategy is have the doctors help you with that. So things you can do to modify the squats in order to get the most out of the squat for your knees. And we want to focus on we want to reduce pain as much as possible. If you're exercising just for the sake of exercising to strengthen your legs, that doesn't necessarily mean the knee pain is going to go away. There's a lot of people with strong legs that have knee pain. I've worked with professional athletes that can squat 300 and 400 pounds and they still have knee pain. So we have to look at what is going on in the knee in order to address that. So what we're doing as far as squats is actually reducing the pain in the knee. So we can't go into this mindlessly going through the motions, doing sets and reps if it causes more pain. You have a dysfunctional tension pattern that's going on from your feet all the way up to your head, that every time you do a squat that's causing the pain, it's just reinforcing a dysfunctional tension pattern. So keep that in mind. So here's some things you can do to modify the squat a little bit in order to reduce the pain as much as possible. One is use chairs or some sort of railings or support when you're going down and coming back up. Something that's really helpful that I have worked with to balance when doing one-legged squats is resistance bands. You can actually hook them over a bar and use it as support when doing one-legged squats. That's something to consider, having some sort of support system. So that could be chairs, that could be tables, it could be railings, it could be the support bands like I was talking about, as far as making it so it's more comfortable doing the squat going down. You can adjust your foot position So you have your feet, you're doing squats, it hurts. You can move the feet out. You can move the feet in. Adjusting the foot position is going to adjust the tension patterns that are going on in the feet, the ankles, the hips, the lower back. It's going to adjust the tension pattern all the way up. Your foot position in and out, as well as how you angle the feet. That's also going to change the tension pattern that's going on in the legs going up into the hips and lower back, because your hips and lower back play a huge role in terms of what's going on in the knees and how the knees feel and hurt. Many times when you have issues with the knees, a lot of times the hips and the lower back are pulling way too tight. There's too much tension a lot of times because we sit in front of computer screens. And whenever we do sit, we stick our butts out. So we have the same tension pattern getting up and down from a chair or in and out of bed. It's the same types of patterns. Beginning to adjust the foot positions, playing with how the toes are pointed and the position of the feet in relationship to each other is going to make a difference in terms of how that works for you. Wearing shoes or not, squatting barefooted or with shoes that have no heels, or conversely, having shoes with heels. I don't know which one is going to work for you because it's all dependent on what works better for your body. And understand that your body is going to shift and change based on the input. It's constantly moving and shifting and changing these tension patterns in your body based on what's happening day to day, which is a lot of the reason why some days your knees hurt bad, some days your knees don't hurt so bad, some days your knees may not even hurt at all. It's because there is tension patterns that are constantly shifting and changing from our environment, our stress levels, how much water we drank, how much alcohol we drank, the food we ate or food we didn't eat. It all plays a role in these tension patterns that are going on in your knees. So based on the shoes. Now, once again, we're adding shoes with heels or not, foot position in or out, and toes pointing in or out, all can affect the tension patterns that are going on in your knees when you squat, in your body when you squat. And you can modify this to adjust it based on how your body feels that day or when you're doing those squats. So now you can see how we get infinite number of different types of tension patterns that are going on in your body. We have the angle of the pelvis. So your pelvis, you can roll it back, making yourself a little hunchback, or you can push it forward so it's like arching your back. And there's an infinite number of positions in between that you can work with to determine which one's more comfortable. Comfort is the key in understanding how to change the neurological signaling that's causing the pain. If you start out in pain, pushing through the pain generally doesn't get you out of pain. You got to think about this. You got to think about this logically. Doing squats mindlessly just to knock out the set and the rep when you already starting out in pain. When the pain has been so bad, you have to go to a doctor to get a diagnosis. Pushing through the pain is not going to get you out of pain. So we have the angle of the pelvis. We have the foot where you have heels or not. We have the position of the feet in or out. We have the pointing of the toes in or out. These are all, you can see as you start combining these different patterns and you're modifying your squat to figure out what is the best position. It's going to give you a comfortable squat. Another piece is actually doing squats on the outsides or the insides of your feet. Plays a huge role. And the interesting part is when we walk, most of the time we're walking on flat surfaces. sidewalks, parking lots, driveways. Most of the time in general, our modern lifestyle is walking on very flat ground. And that creates a tension pattern in how we plant our feet, how we walk, the positions of our ankles, knees, hips, and lower back. It's all on flat surfaces. When we start changing the angles of our feet, modifying that, and of course we can do that in or out, pointing the toes in or out, playing with the position of the pelvis, these all begin to change the patterns of what's going on to modify the squats so it's not so painful when you do this. And so once again, we have the feet, we have underneath the heels, we have the angle of the pelvis, we have the foot position in or out, toes in or out, and the last piece, how to modify the squat to make sure you're squatting pretty pain-free, it's going to be, are you holding your breath? I know it sounds super simple. A lot of people hold their breath, and they entrain the movement, breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. And in doing that, that embeds neurological patterns in the body that create the tension patterns where you experience as far as pain. So those are different variations of how you can modify squats for bad knees. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, The Knee Pain Guru. If you have questions, please put those in the comments section over on the side. Questions you have around squats, questions you have around exercise, your knee diagnosis, doctors, physical therapists, whatever challenges you're running into. My approach is very different, very unique, because it works on changing the neurological signaling. That's the key. Whenever you experience pain, there's a certain neurological pattern that's going on that's reinforcing the pattern of pain. The more we can interrupt that pattern, create comfort, sending a different signal into your knee, into your leg, into your body, what happens is we change that neurological signaling and we form a different pattern. Please give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel, The Knee Pain Guru. You could also head to my website. I offer an introductory training. It's the 7-day knee pain reduction challenge. You can go and take that and get 7 days worth of training on my approach, which will help you understand when I'm talking about changing the neurological signaling and doing something different. And I'll tell you, right off the bat, if you're lazy, it's not going to work for you. You got to have to put some work into it because it's different. It's not like mindless going and doing sets and reps and just exercising to keep your mind busy. This is stuff you're going to have to think and feel to learn how to get yourself out of pain. So I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru. Thanking you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.